Bond.
And I'm Rich Fletcher. Welcome to another edition of Inside Durango TV.
It's cold out this time of year, and what better place to stay warm than in a cozy bakery?
Or in a quaint brew pub. Durango happens to have both in the same place.
That's right. We'll show you the brothers behind the businesses, and we'll take a look at Durango's annual Snowdown celebration.
Then it's time for something new and kind of crazy, snowboarding. We'll take you to Purgatory and elsewhere to show you how they're surfing the slopes.
So stay tuned. I'll be right back to take you behind the scenes at this brewpub bakery.
Looking for local flavor? They've served it nightly at the Orr House since 1972. Rocky Mountain trout fresh from the net to the grill. Prime corn-fed Colorado beef, carefully aged and prepared. Southwest poultry dishes, and a garden-fresh salad bar. Taste the West at Durango's best, the Orr House, 1 block up from Main on 6th. Or across the street, it's the delights of Northern Italian cuisine. Ariano's uses locally harvested herbs, spices, even their fish to give you only the freshest flavors. Homemade linguine, mountain trout, or veal garlic, all complemented with fine wines and capped with espresso or cappuccino. Ariano's fresh Italian cuisine, 1 block up from Main on 6th. And right next door, the pasta flows at a faster pace. Pronto has pizza any way you like it. Generous spaghetti dishes and sandwiches, all at a down-home price. It's a family place with a taste for fun. Pronto Pizza Pasta Parlor off Main on 6th. For complete helpful information on all the activities this area offers, pick up a free copy of the Durango Herald's Winter Guide. You'll find it in the motels, service stations, and stores. The Southwest Winter Guide.
They're serving the same rolls at Carver's Bakery, but they're also serving something new. Yeast is going into more than bread these days. Bill and Jim Carver are using that beneficial bacteria to brew beer. It's a brew pub in a bakery. When it opened on New Year's Eve, the small brewery became one of 3 brew pubs and microbreweries in Colorado. The idea has been popular in Canada for years. This customer plans to open one in Ontario. He was impressed with the behind-the-scenes tour.
You know, I was wondering why no one had done this, and I saw that these guys had opened up this brewery in the paper today, so we had to come into town and try it out. I hope you guys are successful. I think you will be.
If it's a good brew, it's because of the tender, loving care it receives. Bill Carver gets his hands into the process every step of the way.
This is the caramel malt. It's been dissolved in water, and we're about to sparge or filter out the sweet liquid from the husk of the grain. What we're doing here, we're allowing the sweet liquid to drain out from among the husk, and we're going to keep adding clear water to it to try and get as much of the sweet liquid out as we can. There, the liquid's starting to run clear, so you know you've extracted about as much as you'll get.
When the liquid's ready for the brew kettle, that's where Brother Jim steps in to make sure the grain doesn't go to waste. For brewing and baking go together like brothers.
So we're making barley bread today. This uses the grains that came from sparging from the beer, and then you just add it's honey and yeast and the flour. You don't have to add very much sweetener because these are fairly sweet already. Actually, brewing and baking are real similar as far as the fermentation of the yeast and everything. Bread rises through CO2 production, and the alcohol is vented off. Where beer, you trap the alcohol, and the CO2 is vented off.
While Jim creates bread from the barley, Bill takes the liquid malt to the brew kettle.
Brewery process is to extract the sugar within the husk of the grain, extract it out, boil it up in the presence of hops, and that's turned into green beer, it's called. It's unfermented beer.
Bill babysits the process every inch of the way. Some of it's downright hard work, and some of it's pure pleasure.
Right in there.
But taste isn't the only measure for this recipe. Careful testing monitors dissolved sugars, indicating the potential alcohol content of the finished product.
So we're at 1.072 here. We need to go to 1.050.
Bill brews roughly 30 gallons of malt to 2 kilos of hops. The hops add a bitter taste to the sweet malt as it cooks. After stewing in the steamy cauldron for more than an hour, the mixture is pumped to the primary fermenter. Yeast is added as the mixture is cooled. After fermentation, the brew is pressurized in conditioning tanks. It reappears fresh at the tap, ready to serve. Customers are treated to the brothers' labor of love while enjoying the fruit of that labor.
We like the idea that you can watch it being made right here.
Yeah, it has more flavor and more body, but it's not really heavy like you'd expect it to be. Just kind of slides right down.
I like the Amber Ale, Anima City Amber Ale. I think that's great.
Also receiving rave reviews are the Purgatory Pilsner, the Iron Horse Stout, and the Barley Wine. But the biggest draw may be the atmosphere.
They expect breweries to be these big places where, 3 blocks long, where they come in and, it's actually on a small scale. You always think of Anheuser-Busch, Coors, and Miller as the brewers, but, this is the way it started.
It's evident that the customers are pleased. But how are the employees holding up? Waitresses who were hired to serve early morning breakfasts are now tending nighttime bar.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to go from bagels to beer. I liked it. I don't mind a bit.
At their current rate, the brothers will brew about 1,000 barrels this first year. Coors, in comparison, brews 12 million barrels a year. But you can't get this unique experience or taste anywhere but Durango. The bottom line can be found at the bottom of your glass. Cheers.
Ann, it's nice to have another unique reason to live in or visit Durango.
It is. And of course, one of the most unique things about Durango in the wintertime is snowdown.
That's right. And last year was its 10th anniversary, and it was still crazy after all 10 years.
One of the nice things about small towns is that you can see familiar faces wherever you look. This winter, about 500 people nosed their way into Durango's first